My name is Mohammed Hassanin. I'm an older voice, but a younger body. And here I have next to me, not Isaac Rue. Sorry, Isaac, you have to sit behind the camera today. But Darren Wallace, former Montgomery basketball alumni, soon to graduate at Syracuse, right?
Yes, sir. In the spring.
How long you got left?
I'll be finishing up in the spring in May, so hopefully, I can finish up at Syracuse.
What's your major again?
Right now, I'm doing economics and neuroscience, but I'll be applying to the BDJ program, and hopefully, I'll be doing some more of this, like you guys broadcasting.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I know Isaac's over there ready for at Syracuse Newhouse.
Yes, sir. Yeah, he's one of the proud Newhouse guys over there. So
yeah, I'm salty. I applied to Newhouse and didn't get in. But let's not talk about that. Let's not talk about that. We do apologize for the late start time here for the Mire because we had technical difficulties. Mr. Glock, who isn't here today, decided to throw us all this new technology. It's cool stuff, but it's mad confusing.
definitely some new stuff.
It took us a while to actually get started up. Darren, I've seen you at a few games this season already. By the way, I'm an idiot for not saying this. We're here at Bridgewater High School, Montgomery versus Bridgewater, in the Holiday Classic. Every year, the Bridgewater and Montgomery flip-flops between who hosts which tournament, or where it's hosted, I should say. I'm a little rusty. I haven't done this in a year, so I'm a little rusty. And so that's where we are. And Darren, I wanted to ask you, you've seen a couple games from our Cougars this season.
Right.
3-1. As a former player, as 4-year varsity player, how have you seen this team evolve over 4 games in and by itself?
Obviously, coming in with a 3-1 record, or was it 4 games? Yeah, 3-1 record. A tough loss to Ridge at home, which I think really was a wake-up call. They definitely came out and started strong, and I thought it was going to get ugly pretty early. But I think that was definitely a big wake-up call for them. The issue wasn't necessarily deep. Confused, a little flustered by the 2-3 zone that they faced. But I think, since then, they've definitely taken a different approach to practice and just going up against different zone looks, different kinds of gimmicks and stuff that teams can throw at them. So I think they're more prepared for those kind of, gimmicky and different kind of defenses now. But that Ridge game was a wake-up call. But defense has never been an issue. What it comes down to is whether or not they can come out and be confident on the offensive end. And, coming off, like I said earlier, 3 days off and just one practice since their last game, it'll be interesting to see how they come off in the first quarter.
Yeah, that's always something every year that Coach Grundy seems to talk about. Because remember last year I interviewed Coach Grundy after the game they had against Bridgewater in the Holiday Classic, and they didn't play as well. And I remember him talking to me saying how every year that I tell my guys you have to come out after this this big break stretch and you have to play like you've been playing all week. And it's tough because you're sitting at home, you're just with your family during Christmas, and then boom, you're thrown into a varsity basketball game.
Absolutely.
Against a tough conference opponent like Bridgewater. With all that being said, Bridgewater hasn't played as well as it did last year, but it's still, no matter who you're playing, you got to come out every night, every day. In this case, I told you that this Montgomery basketball team was averaging 55 points a game this season so far. Would you believe me?
Honestly, no. I would expect, especially with the amount of scorers. I mean, you're talking about even in the starting lineup, 1 through 5 can shoot the 3 ball. They like to play fast up tempo. So 55 points per game, obviously it's not bad, but definitely you'd like to see a little higher considering how much scoring and talent this team has.
What about the 44 points per game average allowed? I'm sorry.
I mean, yeah, no, that's where you want to be. You want to be in the 40s. I mean, talking about a switch up from Montgomery of old, back in the late 2000s and early 2010s. We played a lot slower. We were definitely more of a defensively focused team. But around the 2014-2015 season, really made a big switch to start playing more up tempo and a lot of more high scoring games. So the more possessions you give the other team, the more points they can score. So 44 points per game is where you want to be around.
We'll be back with tip-off here at Bridgewater High School. Sorry to cut it short, but Darren will be back. I'll be back. You're listening to The Mire. You're calling the Montgomery Internet Radio Experience. Hello and welcome back to the Montgomery. Next to my
turn up the pressure, and they'll make things really difficult for this Bridgewater Raritan team who's 0-3 to start the season. Definitely not, reminiscent of many Bridgewater Raritan teams in the past. But I expect the Cougars to come out, maybe struggle a little bit to start, but as the game wears on, they'll definitely apply a lot of pressure.
What's the one thing that you need the Cougars to really focus on besides energy that on like the offensive and defensive end?
Just offensive efficiency, not coming out looking slow or being impatient, really running their offense, running their stuff, getting their best looks they can, and defensively just doing what they've been doing all year. They've looked really solid defensively, whether it be Spartan or their 1-3-1 zone. Everything that they've done on the defensive end has been absolutely solid this year, and I expect that to continue this evening.
Bold prediction for you. When do you think Grundy takes off the jacket?
It's always a tough one. I think we're going to go over under a minute and a half. He actually did well. Last game, I don't even think he took the jacket off at all.
Really?
Which I think a very rare sight. I think he's only got about 3 or 4 complete game jackets, at least during my tenure. But I think this game could end up, depending on how the Cougars start, could be about a minute and a half. I think the jacket could come off.
Tip-off between Rohan Prakash and Alec Whelan is almost underway. The Cougars starting 5, Kyle Howard, Joe Alicone, Rohan Prakash, Tevin Formel, and Riley Green, the typical starting 5. And for Bridgewater, we have John Sabiglia, Alvin Chang, Jeffrey Mao, Brandon Havath, and Jalen Rogers. I'm sorry, Alec Whelan. And we are underway as Rohan wins the tip. What's great about the video is that I don't have to talk as much because people can see what's happening, so it's great. That means we can talk more.
Exactly.
Kyle now. Alicone baseline.
See, and Bridgewater's coming out in a 2-3 zone, which was expected by Coach Grundy, being that most teams in the conference can't stick with the Cougars man-to-man.
Alicone drives to the basket, no good. And after some frenzy, Bridgewater comes up with the rebound. Now, drives baseline. Dishes it back out. Now back in the corner. Chang with Green guarding him.
Yeah, Chang will be the primary ball handler for the Panthers.
Sabiglia drives baseline, kicks out for 3, Bridgewater, and that's good. Brandon Havad.
Yeah, Brandon Horvath.
Horvath, I apologize. I can't read your handwriting, Isaac. I'm just kidding, Isaac. From Melt to Howard. Rohan. Baseline jumper, no good.
Tough shot. Not really what you're looking for, at least early on. You want to start to, play inside out against a 2-3 zone from the beginning.
I mean, when you have a 7-footer, you want to use him as reliably as much as you can. Chang tries inside, floater, no good. Rebound by Prakash, and Green quickly the other way. As the Cougars will look to set up on offense now again. Carmel pulls up from quick three, no good off the front rim.
Now that's a shot that's too early in the possession. Like I said, you kind of want to work it to start the game. Really make them work. Really, use ball.
Walk, but no call from their threes. Horvath for three again, and that's a quick 6-0 lead for Bridgewater.
Coach comes off at 2 minutes, so
exactly 2 minutes in.
Exactly 2 minutes into the game.
I mean, do you blame him? 2 quick threes and
yeah, too early three for Bridgewater definitely spells trouble for the Cougars defense.
Green orchestrating the offense now. Drives inside. Kick out to Vermelt. Vermelt pump fake baseline, and it dumped him Prakash, but they were not on the same wavelength that will be Bridgewater basketball.
And the 2-3 zones just giving the Cougars a lot of trouble this season. Definitely gave them fits in their loss to Ridge. And Bridgewater obviously saw that tape and figured, they're going to try and say the same thing.
Chang comes out of the game now for Makai Moore, number 2. And as Horvath, after making his first two threes, misses the Alicone on the baseline now.
I like the no timeout call from Grundy. Let the guys play through it a little bit, not panicking.
Green now. And the Cougars just look really just disorganized at the moment. And one from Brohan Prakash. I think he was trying to go for a dunk there.
Yeah, it definitely looked like he was trying to get up there for a dunk. But just a strong finish. We've been talking with Rohan a lot, myself and some other former players, about just trying to dunk everything. He's so big, he has so much length, and just trying to dunk everything will make it really tough to do anything but foul him.
Yeah, exactly. And the free throw is good. That completes the three-point play from the Cougars. 3 points of the game. First 3 points of the game. I'm sorry. Moore down at the other end, driving baseline with left hand.
And there's some early pressures from the Cougars, right, like I was talking about.
Turnover by Moore leads to Montgomery basketball as Vermel comes the other way now. Cougars are looking to gun quick and keep Bridgewater on their toes. Alicone now. Reverse layup, no good. Rohan Prakash rebound. Rohan Prakash rebound again. And out of bounds, Cougars ball.
Good job by Rohan to keep the ball high, using his size and his length to just keep the ball out of reach of defenders.
Green from 3. And that's splash for Riley Green. Riley Green can pretty much pull up from anywhere, and you have to stare at the basket to make sure that doesn't go in.
Yeah, Riley Green's got range basically to half court. So any time he's within half court, you got to be looking for a three-pointer. And you hear Coach Quenny talking about ball pressure.
Now back out, working on for Melt, takes it to Moore. Howard caught in a miscommunication on defense, but leads to a Cougars rebound and a quick foul by Bridgewater. Let's see who picks this one up. John Sabigia picks it up. Bridgewater with 2 fouls, 8-6 is the score in Bridgewater's favor with 4:04 left in the quarter. And Bridgewater's coming out with a full court press here. Trying to slow down the Cougars.
Yeah, just some token pressure, it looks like. Little 2-2-1 zone.
Vermel loses the handle but gets it back, and Green will now be in charge of the offense. Howard now. Alicone inside, and tough layup, no good, but Green gets the rebound. Vermel from 3, and that's no good, but Prakash with the rebound. This is just, and after a good kick out from Prakash, they're going to call Vermel on a walk. That's just a mental error on Vermel's part.
I hit the late kick out from Vermel to Kyle. Obviously, Kyle was not expecting that.
Yeah. And New Cougars will hop in now. Ben Hubat and Chris Rubio in the game now for Riley Green. And I can't seem to see who else went out. And Kyle Howard are the two that went out. And Chang is now back in the game again. And Green with the quick
Nice
steal.
hands from Riley.
Perfect acrobatic layup.
Tough finish from Riley Green. And the Cougars tie it up. 3:15 left to play.
We'll take a timeout with them. And we'll be back shortly. Don't go away. This is the Montgomery Internet Radio Experience. You're calling the Mire. Hello and welcome back to Montgomery in the first quarter of play.
Is that a 5-second call?
And the referees have called something against Bridgewater, but
Yeah, it looks like a 5-second call.
either way, it's Cougar basketball. And Vermelt will be in charge of orchestrating the offense here. Back out to Green. Quick dump to Chris Rubio inside. Back out to Hubat. Hubat from three after the kickout from Green. And that's good.
That's when Hubeck's at his best, when he's catching and shooting on the wing. I like his game when he's just catching and shooting and
Going the other way as he was trying to defend Mal from driving with this, comes back in for the Cougars. And it'll be Bridgewater inbounding. Resetting their offense again. Chang to Moore. To Biglia. Defended by Hubat. Hubat, great active hands on defense. And that's just the hustle of Ben Hubat, but didn't go his way. Now, after Biglia's missed layup, Mal corrals the rebound and puts one in.
I like Mal's athleticism, his length. He's real active on the offensive glass as well, it looks like.
And they're going to call a charge on Vermelt.
And that's been a big talking point from Coach Grundy this season. You know, the Cougars have been drawing a lot of charges on the defensive end, but offensively, they've been driving really recklessly and have picked up a few charges themselves. So there you'd like to see Vermelt maybe.
Right hand floater, and that's good.
Speaker was real patient there, just waited to set up Vermelt with the jab step. And
11 in favor of the puck, 30 left in the quarter. For buying out a baseline and off the hands of Mao, and it'll be Cougar ball down here in our corner. Let's see what the Cougars draw up here. They like to throw that. They usually like to throw out that paint pass to Prakash, but they just keep it simple that time. And have Vermelt top the tee now.
And Bridgewater sticking with that 2-3, not showing any signs of coming out of it.
Cougars working the ball around the arc, just trying to see what they can. Good pick by Chris Rubio. That's an easy jump shot at the elbow for Kevin Vermelt.
That's what you want to see against 2-3 zone. Just make the game simple, some screening, some, easy action. Just make it easy on yourself. Don't make it tough just because it's a zone.
Mao now working on Chris Rubio. Chang with Elicone defending. Chang to Mao.
Really
Mao
nice
from
defense
three.
by the Cougars.
And that's just watching him give up a three-pointer. But your score with 15-13 with 25 seconds left in the first quarter. Let's see what the Cougars like to do
It's a real
here.
good defensive possession. It's gone to waste without a good closeout.
Elicone, good acrobatic layup attempt, and they're going to call that out of bounds on Elicone. 8 seconds left, Bridgewater ball in their own half, and the Cougars going to throw a full court press to avoid any last second points. And Moore just blows by Fromell and blows by the entire defense. Kicks it out for 3 and no good. And your score at the end of the first quarter of play, 15 Bridgewater, 13 your Montgomery Cougars. We'll be back with the second quarter of play. Don't go away, we'll be right back. You're calling the Montgomery Internet Radio Experience. Hello and welcome back to the Mire. With 1 quarter play down, it's 15-13 in favor of Bridgewater. Darren, what did you see out of that first quarter that?
Well, like I anticipated, a bit of a slow start for the Cougars, but, as the game waned, a little bit of trouble. But, some time off and, leading by
20, and the Cougars had beaten the Hillsborough by 20. Just to put that in perspective. And after a sloppy Bridgewater possession, the Cougars have the ball now. Prakash for 3 from the corner, and front rim no good. A fight for the rebound, and they're going to call this out of bounds on Montgomery. Bridgewater basketball with Moore, Chang, Biglia, Harper, Prakash, and Rabayo.
On our last offensive possession, you want to see Rohan, play more inside on. We obviously know he's capable of hitting the 3, but maybe he'll drive and a layup is a lot more of a better look there.
And a mistake for the Bridgewater leads to almost another mistake for the Cougars. And good offense here from Montgomery, and an air ball from Joe Colombo. Clean up Kyle Howard layup. That's probably the easiest layup Kyle Howard's had all season.
Yeah, luck of the draw right there. Just went right to his hands.
15-15 with 6:43 left in the game. 15-15. I'm sorry. I'm rusty. I should have had a warm-up game before this. I'm rusty right now. 15-15 is your score with 6:42 left in the first half of play.
Yeah, I'm just trying my best.
Alicone from 3 now, and that's.
See, now they're starting to look a lot smoother on offense. They're moving the ball, they're sharing the game, and they're speeding Bridgewater up, which Bridgewater definitely doesn't like.
Alicone, the thing with Alicone is that he hasn't really stepped outside. This season he has changed that. Last season he didn't really step outside that much, not really shooting the 3. He was more of a drive kind of player. But this season you see him stepping out, shooting the 3 more. He's becoming a lot more dangerous. Yeah. And he's on team scouting reports.
Yeah, he's definitely rising up with no hesitation. Definitely more of a focus on shooting the 3 this year as opposed to last year.
And that's that Euro step you were talking about. But Riley Green couldn't avoid the contact, and that's another charge on the Cougars.
Right. I mean, it's a good move, the Euro step. But again, he kind of drove out of control, never really gathered himself, and never really set him up to really get around the defender. So ended up barreling right into him. That's an easy call for the ref.
Substitutions for both teams. Harper exits the game for Mao, and Rabayo exits the game for Melt. 15-18 in favor of the Cougars. More pressure now. Gets out of the pressure. Bridgewater's working the ball around.
Walk?
More.
Yeah, that's gotta be an easy.
Gonna get called for a walk.
That one.
Yeah. He kind of fumbled the ball and thought he had it, and that's just led to that easy call for the referee. Green now, orchestrating the offense. Alley-oop to Rohan Prakashan. That's an easy layup. I just wish he dunked that.
Yeah, you want to see him throw that down. I don't like that out of Rohan. That's real soft. You want to see him take it up strong, throw it down with some authority, and really get some energy going for the Cougars.
How many dunks do you have in your career?
And me, I had one failed attempt where I actually traveled, and I never tried again after that one. So as much as I probably should have made some more attempts. That was kind of a sign for me to say, you know what, I don't think this is for me. It's 2 points either way.
Was that your senior year?
It was my junior year, home opener, or actually not home opener, season opener at P-Berg. Coming off a PCL tear, definitely shouldn't have tried it.
You trying to dunk at another team's you trying to dunk at another team's arena?
Yeah, on opening night, and it didn't exactly work out so great. And that Bridgewater possession didn't work out so great as they turn it over again.
Yeah.
Pressure's really looking starting to get to him.
20-15 in favor of the Cougars with 4:50 left in the first half of play. The Cougars definitely look a lot more relaxed this quarter. As Riley Green pulls from 3 and back iron, no good. Rebound to Biglia, and he's going the other way. Twitch. He has Chang, and he has his team doubled now, and Chang makes a miraculous save and throws it off Kevin from
5-point game, but the start to this second quarter wouldn't tell you that. I mean, the Bridgewater has not looked comfortable at all, and the Cougars are just really starting to take over on the offensive end, looking much more crisp, and defensively just really turning up the pressure.
Hugh back in the game now for Green.
Looks like you got away with the push-off there, did Brandon Horvath.
I'm surprised we haven't seen Maripodi yet, in all honesty.
Yeah, especially with the way they're playing defensively, really cranking up the pressure. This is where Will Maripodi and even Andrew Davino, where they shine, just getting up full court pressure and really speeding up the guards.
I really like how Grundy's incorporating a lot more of his leaders in the game, I say per se. What I mean by that is how you see last game there were 4 seniors that were rotated into the game, like Maripodi was rotated, Davino was rotated, and the thing I loved was that not from mainly Grundy's point of view, but how they all were playing like they wanted to be there. I don't know how to describe it. It was nice to see how energized they were and everything.
Yeah, Coach Grundy's always emphasized just playing for each other, sharing the game, and going deeper. Something Coach Grundy's always wanted to do. In the past, his rotations have definitely been a lot smaller, just because when you don't have as much talent, you can't really throw as many guys out there. But he's so deep this year. So many seniors and just so many players in general who can really get out there and make an impact. It allows them to go much deeper into the bench.
4:04 left here in the first half of play. We'll take a break as the Cougars have called a timeout, and we'll be right back. Montgomery Net Radio. Hello and welcome back to the Montgomery Net Radio Experience. My name is Darren Wallace. You're watching the game. You're listening to us. What else could you want out of your
beautiful Thursday night?
Is it Thursday? I almost said Saturday. I don't know why I just almost said Saturday.
I only know it's Thursday because I know tomorrow the Syracuse Orange will be playing the West Virginia Mountaineers in the Orlando Camping Bowl. So I'm looking forward to watching that contest.
You going? You should just drive up to Syracuse, or is it not?
Oh no, it's in Orlando.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. You should have made the trip to Orlando.
Yeah, I wish.
Kyle Howard drives to the basket, left hand, no good. And Bridgewater will now trot the other way with Moore and Chang. Chang drives baseline, dumps it into Mao, and that's blocked by Chris Rabayo. From Mao, crossing up people left and right.
And that's been a real big part of Rabao's game this year, just blocking a ton of shots. He's so long, athletic, and very active on the defensive end. He has such good hands. Doesn't foul too often, so blocking shots have been real big for him this year.
As speaking of Rabio, goes up, miscue with the right hand, and Bridgewater will go the other way now. Moore crosses up Rabio, and crosses up Alicone as Rabio pulls up with the steal and off his knee, down low to Rabio, right hand, and that's good. I think Bridgewater was trying to foul Rabio there, but just whiffed on that arm.
Rotations for the Cougars looking a little slow right now, trying to get up some 55 full court pressure. Just missing some.
Chang now.
After Horvath's early threes, you think he'd shoot it some more, but hasn't really looked for a shot much for the Panthers.
And that's going to be just an honest mistake from Moore as he slips, and they're going to call it. The referees will call a travel on him. 22-17 in favor of the Montgomery Cougars with 2:20 left here to play in the first half. This is a much better quarter for the Cougars. Still not to their liking, but a much better performance. Moving the ball nicely as Huback drives inside. Paint pass.
That's textbook zone offense.
Elikone.
Textbook zone offense.
Easy bucket.
And Huback, he could have pulled up for that three, but he shot fakes, drives by the defender, easy dump off for Joe, and just a really good finish by Elikone.
And Bridgewater misses an easy layup, so the Cougars will go the other way with Howard. To Firmelt. Firmelt drives right hand and blocked from behind. Bridgewater looking to go quick. Horvath for three and back iron, no good.
And that's his first attempt since hitting his first two early in the first.
Huback in the corner now, inside to Urbayo. Urbayo, quick pull up, and that's good.
Bio has such a high ceiling. I'm really looking forward to seeing how he progresses as a player. But, I mean, right now, what he's been doing for the Cougars, I don't think Coach Benny could have asked for much more.
Imagine having 2 7-footers at your disposal easily.
Right.
One gets tired, put the other one in there, and even better, sometimes you can throw both of them in there, and it's just a block party at that point. Huback now for three in the corner, and that's an air ball. Urbayo cleans it up nicely, and one for Chris Urbayo.
There he is again.
Yeah.
There he is again. Chris Urbayo, he's really active. You know, he runs the floor, tries to play inside out. You like to see him shoot the three a little less. Not that he's incapable, but you know, definitely just stay more inside and stay true to who he is as a player. But right now, I mean, he's doing everything he can, and like I said before, Coach Benny, I'm sure you couldn't have asked for any more out of the young sophomore.
And my wish for Wilmer Party to come in has
finally come true.
As he checks in the game with Green for Huback and Howard.
Expect Will to just go full court pressure. I mean, he's relentless on defense.
He's like the Energizer Bunny. You throw him in there for 2 minutes, he gives you max you want, and just start over, repeat, and that's
another block.
Great block from Chris Urbayo. Inside, going the other way, the Cougars.
Oh, get Mo getting in on the action. Get him in the game, Coach. Yeah, Riley just trying to force the issue a little bit too much there. Maybe could have pulled it out. Maybe could have taken it himself.
Quick inbound to Urbayo, kick out to Green, and Green front iron, no good, as Howard pulls out a tough rebound, and they reset with Green. Green hop step in, Elikone, right hand, no good. Elikone gets his own rebound, goes up, and he's fouled.
I like how they stayed aggressive. They didn't try and pull it out and hold for one. You know, they recognized they had a chance to score and just, you know, relentlessly tried to put it in the hoop.
Elikone will take 2 free throws with 18.4 left in the first half of play. 28-17 in favor of Montgomery, and he hits the first, no questions asked.
And you already know when to make the Cougars are going to be going full court with the pressure.
Elikone makes a second. Grundy calls timeout, and it'll be a full timeout, so we'll take a full break with them and stay right in your seats. Keep watching that video. We'll be back soon. Hello and welcome back to the Montgomery Internet Radio Experience. Mo Hassinen, Darren Wallace, Isaac Rue, here to end the second quarter of play with 18.4 left. The Cougars have just called a timeout. Bridgewater basketball, and Darren, you said you think you're throwing the full court press.
Yeah, I mean, why step away from it? Trying to end the half. Maybe you get a quick steal, another turnover. Maybe make this 13-point lead, a 15-point lead going into the second half, and then you're feeling really good coming out to start the third.
Looks like a 1-3. And quick steal from
That's the steal that I was talking about.
Right hand layup. Yes, that's good. It's a good way to end the first half of play. And an attempted pass from Savigia. I'm sorry. I'm butchering names left and right.
What I would have wanted to see maybe from Joe was a quick dump off and a nice Rohan Prakash dunk. But that's just me. Maybe I'm just asking a little too much.
And quick steal. Green with the
Wow.
acrobatic circus shot. And he did the same thing.
He's done that more than once this year now.
He's inhuman.
Last game, another tough one. In this game, that was crazy.
He can't stop. He really can't. And that's halftime. We'll be back in 2 seconds, and Isaac Rue will be here to talk halftime with us as he normally does. We'll be back. Don't go away very shortly. See you later. I told you we'd be quick. Back here in the Montgomery Montgomery Internet Radio Experience, Isaac, you see me how frustrated I am, dude. I can't talk today, bro.
Don't worry about it.
It's so bad.
Don't worry
it's
about
so
it.
bad. I feel like I don't know. I just haven't done this in like a year plus, and like it's just difficult, man. I don't know what it is. We're here at Bridgewater High School for battle with the Montgomery Cougars versus the Bridgewater Panthers. Your score at halftime, 35-17. Isaac, how you been, buddy? I think this is the first time that the viewers have seen both of us together.
I know, it's been a while.
It's
been a long time.
A long while. How's Syracuse, buddy? You and Darren both go to Syracuse.
It's all right, man. I'm doing what I love.
It's all right.
I get great.
That's not reassuring.
Great opportunities. I passed. I'm going back next semester.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
I feel you, man. All right, so we're here to talk Cougars basketball. Isaac, so for those who don't know, actually, you guys probably do know this if you're watching, but the new camera stuff, Isaac's been manning the camera things. This is his first time actually doing it, so he's had a tough time watching the game and doing the camera, and so much responsibility. But he's a tough kid, and he's handling it well. So Isaac, you want to tell me a little bit about what you thought about the first half of play?
So, I mean, 76-54. Usually Montgomery doesn't score more than 60 in a game. They usually average around 54 points per game. But we're already at 35 at the half, and you can definitely expect a high-powered offense coming back in the second half.
Isaac, are you surprised how, like, this season in general, how the offense has been, like, no one's really dominating the offense as much anymore. It's mainly, like, spread out. You see a lot of Rohan scoring and Chris Rabayo scoring. You see a lot of dispersing in the offensive load. Is that surprising to you at all?
I mean, not really, because last year we had really good players, but now the players that were essentially your role players now evolved into starting players, and you couldn't say that there's one star in Montgomery. Right. Everyone can score. I mean, Joel Cohn, he's a great scorer. Ben, he's off the bench now. He can score whenever you want him to. So I didn't really expect to see Montgomery playing this well, but right. I mean, man, they are playing so well.
And despite this game, like I know you and I, when we were at the last game, I forgot who they played, bro. Who they played again?
Hightstown.
I played Hightstown. Remember the Hightstown game, I said to Isaac, I was like, for some reason, dude, this team looks better. And like, they didn't even lose. It's not that they lost a lot of players. Of course they lost Matt and they lost Lawrence and those key players to your
scoring, everyone helping. Almost everyone on the team scored.
That's
where he
pretty
just
crazy.
stole all the ball and got all at the end of that half where he just launched up that three and
I don't
went
even
in
think
somehow.
Started off like, I was like, this is an air ball. When I complete swish.
Yeah, I know.
All right, Isaac. Well, it's nice to be back. We'll be back here Saturday again, the three of us, me, Darren, and Isaac, to bring you the other half of the Cougar Holiday Classic, and we'll go to break until halftime is over. Darren will be. I was looking at.
I want you to show me how to get to know someone like you, someone like you. I want you to know me, 'cause I know then you'll see we can be true, we can be true. So real, something so real. I want you to see that this is a love that we both feel, that we both feel. And how will we ever know if the love will ever grow without trying? But meant to be, it's terrifying, it's terrifying. That we're meant to be. We're meant to be. That we're meant to be. We're meant to be. We've both been there before. When a love shuts the door, it's a losing game. It's a losing game. But this time it's more. Another lot of war. This ain't the same. This ain't the same. They say love heals all. It makes it all alright. In time. In time. My heart still feels the breaking, but you make my world so bright. It feels so right. It feels so right. And how will we ever feel that what we've got is real? There's no denying. There's no denying. And how will we ever see if we are meant to be? It's terrifying. It's terrifying. And how will we ever know if the love will ever grow without trying, without trying? And how will we ever see if we are meant to be? It's terrifying, it's terrifying. That we're meant to be.
Hello, welcome back to the Montgomery Internet Radio Experience. Did the Cougars make on you in the first half of play?
Well, they came on, they applied more pressure. They get more comfortable against the zone. Like I said, Bridgewater probably came out at 2-3, and they certainly did that. But once the Cougars, established a rhythm and got comfortable, started running their stuff on offense, they looked more efficient. And defensively, I'm talking about just absolutely stifling.
What did you tell your team at halftime?
Tell them, get back on transition, emphasize defense, and just staying crisp. You don't want to get complacent just because you start figuring it out offensively, but just maintain that defensive pressure from start to finish, not letting up on the deep 40-point mark, and just to continue to, pound it inside on the offensive end and just be efficient. Don't rush their offensive possessions. Take their time and continue to, do what they've been doing.
Third quarter here is about to begin with Green receiving the inbound from Howard. Your Cougar starting five is Fromelt, Green, Howard, Prakash, and Ellicott.
And that's another thing that makes the Cougars so dangerous is that it can be anybody. You know, you got to worry about Riley at the 3-point line. You got to worry about Rohan at the 3-point line. You got to worry about Kevin at the 3-point line. Just anybody can hurt you from the 3-point.
That's actually what Isaac and I were talking about. We were talking about the last season. I felt last season it was a lot of Vermelt had to do the dirty work and do the scoring, but this year it's like
everybody's chipping in. It's a very balanced. At any given moment you're talking about 5 guys in the starting lineup who can go off for 20 points on any given night. It just makes it that much easier for you as a coach.
Right. 38 to he tries to size up from Melt, and a kickball on Alicone. Good defense there, but just got unlucky with this foot.
You see some full court 1-3-1 out of the Cougars, which is definitely.
Timeout, so we'll just stay here. Isaac mentioned to me something I thought you might find this interesting. This about
they almost scored 80 points, but you got to have maybe 20, 25 assists?
24.
24 assists.
Close. So that's just a fun fact about how
this team can create on their own, but they share the game so well that assists are going to come naturally from everybody.
Yeah. Timeout over. Bridgewater to inbound. Quick inbound. Gets the ball back. Back out to Mao. Mao will hook from 3, and that's clear.
He's got an athletic body. He definitely looks like he can do some things, but, the Cougars have definitely disrupted.
Onto the ball to Wog and causes a turnover. And Horvath the other way now to Mao. Mao drives right. Pull up. Jay, and that's clean again from Mao.
Him heat up. He looks like, he's a very capable scorer.
24-38. 38-24, I'm sorry, in favor of Montgomery. 6 minutes left in the third quarter. Cougars not have the ball.
This has been a very dangerous part of the Cougars game this year. Just coming out of the third quarter, how do you start those first 4 minutes? Coach Graney's always emphasized, the first 4 minutes of the third quarter, and that's definitely an area where the Cougars tough rebound from Riley.
Rebound. Drives right. Right-hand layup and clean off the glass. Takes a tumble, but
kind of attitude, and he's been really aggressive and finishing strong at the rim, especially for someone his size.
Kyle Howard fouls at the other end on Alec Whelan, and he not much free throws this game for either team.
Yeah, it's been a relatively clean game, and the Cougars in general haven't really fouled. I mean, they definitely play 1-3-1, and playing zone defense doesn't necessarily lead to a lot of fouls. But against Ridge at the end of the game, the last 2 minutes, the Cougars had all 6 of their fouls to give before they could even force Ridge to start shooting free throws. So just to show you how much of a clean game that the Cougars have been playing this year.
Make one, miss one for going up, and now we'll be on Whalen now.
And you hear Coach Graney talking about weak side. They've definitely gotten a little stagnant on the offensive end. Bridgewater, hasn't really done too much of a good job of disrupting the Cougars' vision or making them, speed up their pace of play. But, Coach Graney just wants to, make sure that off the ball guys are moving and being active, even when they're not involved directly with the play.
New Panthers into the game. Chang and Whalen make way for
Mudularu.
I'm just kidding. I didn't mean to put blame on you. I just can't read. Some offense happened, but turning the ball over. Green kick out to Fermel. Fermel from 3, and front iron, no good. Green now, back out from a Prakash rebound. Prakash will pull from 3, and in and out, no good. Howard with the rebound, inside to Alicone, back out to Fermel. Fermel, right hand, and that's good. 44-25 with 4:42 left in the third quarter of play.
And you like that.
And that's perfect from Alicone. That's great offense right there.
See, this is when they're at their best. They're not forcing up a bunch of threes. They're attacking the paint. They're looking to get to the rim before they start jacking up threes, and that's what you want to see, especially coming out in the second half.
Mululu pulls from three. I just keeps Bridgewater somewhat in this game. Howard goes the other way now with a foul.
So the first 4 minutes, Cougars coming out strong, but you want to make sure they maintain that for the rest of the quarter.
Foul on the floor, so it'll be taken behind the basket. Howard to inbound. Rowe drives left, kicks out to Alicone. Alicone from three, and that's perfect again from Joe Alicone.
Alicone has to be shooting it at a high clip this year. I'm talking, he's got to be in the 40% range. He's been definitely.
But he didn't look good last year, but he's looked a lot better than last year, and that's good from Sabigia. And I think that's just because his role is. Maybe it's not that he's playing better, but we're seeing more of him because of his role.
He's probably the third option for the Cougars offensively, and there's definitely times in the game where once he gets going, he becomes their first option. So, him shooting it more efficiently from the outside is evident of that.
Under the basket, and now the Cougars will play offense.
Ben Hubert checking in for the Cougs. Real bad turnover there.
That's not normal for Riley Green. Muduluru goes up with the right hand, no good. 6'7" Prakash in front of you.
Yeah, Rohan's length just made that so tough for him. It's not easy to score over a guy that long.
Green now trying to get his team where he wants them. Prakash extending his range. Drives left hand.
Ooh.
And no good.
I was hoping he'd rise up there. That's what we're talking.
And Grundy in frustration calls timeout. Let's see if it'll be a 30 or a full.
Frustrated Grundy with a 19-point lead.
Darren.
It's tough. I'm gonna have to go. It's definitely a tie between Chris Urbayo and Ben Hubek. He's aggressive offensively, and that's what you want out of a bench player. You don't want him to come out and be tentative and overly patient. A really, really good option on the offensive end. And then Chris Urbayo, talking about just offensively and defensively, just being such a weapon. His length defensively, he blocks a lot of shots. Offensively, he's relentless on the offensive glass. He's big and he's physical. Being strong with the ball is something that'll come with him. But I'd say him and Ben have definitely been some real big bright spots, and definitely two big.
The Panthers, Sabigia gets called for his third foul. 49-30, your Cougars with Green in and out three, no good. And Moore will go the other way now. About escapes an imminent trap from Prakash and Rabayo.
And you want to see Riley do that more. Just being fearless and pulling up right away instead of looking to drive it.
Riley, left hand, front rim, no good. Sabigia the other way, pulls up, blocked from Prakash, and quick miss from Jalen Rogers for Bridgewater, and Rabala goes the other way now. Gives it to his ball handler, Green. Prakash in the corner will pull from three, and that's good from Rohan Prakash, and that's what we talked about before about
on shooting a three. He definitely has proven that he's more than capable of knocking him down.
I don't know if you were there last year when he hit that three to win the game for them. I forgot who was against who, but that's a good bucket from Chris Rabayo. Went in the net.
No, I didn't see that one.
Gave us all a heart attack, but that's just Rohan being Rohan. Bridgewater playing offense now with Brown.
That was a travel.
Rogers,
Did he not just change pivot feet? Like, before he dribbled?
Nobody knows, man. You see that. No travel called as good offense from the Cougars. Rabayo misses twice uncharacteristically from inside. And if you're just Coach Grundy there, you're just scratching your head like.
Well, that's where you want to see him, like I said, just try and dunk everything. He's tall. He's more than tall enough, and he's got the standing vertical to do it. You just want to see him go up and dunk it.
For that.
Yeah, I've been there before.
Then he turns to Darren Wallace on opening night against Phillipsburg. At Phillipsburg. Maripodi checks in for Prakash, and Bridgewater plays offense and scores quickly with Moore from the corner. Green flexing his handles real. Appears to get fouled, but no call from the referees. Your score at the end of the third quarter, 54-37. Here in Montgomery. We'll be back quickly after the break is over. Don't go away. Welcome back to the Meyer Montgomery Indoor Radio Experience. Mo Hassan and Darryl Wallace and Isaac Grew here with you at Bridgewater High School for the annual Holiday Classic between Montgomery Cougars and Bridgewater Panthers. The fourth quarter action about to begin. 54-37. Montgomery running away from it. Darren, what do you want to see here from the Cougars to maintain their lead?
Just more defensive pressure, for sure. Obviously Bridgewater hasn't handled it, at all this game, and you just want to see them continue to do that. And then offensively, just doing what they've been doing, playing inside out, not forcing threes, not trying to play too much on the outside, but really attacking the rim and then shooting the three when it's there.
Bridgewater playing offense now and turns the ball over, and Green makes a nice save to fast break quickly on the other end. Maripodi also in the game, and
I don't like that call. I never have been a fan of that call. A lot of refs call it preemptively. Like they assume, the player traveled. But I promise you, if you go look at tape 7 or 8 times out of 10, it's not a travel, but
right.
They just call it anyway.
I think what they're looking for is for them to put the ball down first, and then take that step. But when it happens that quick, it's a bang-bang play. I think the view is they have to call it, as Rabio gets called for a questionable foul.
I don't like that one either.
Yeah.
I think that was all ball.
I think Darren and I are in agreement.
A lot of bailout. Big bailout call there, but,
it happens.
Stripe's going to call what they're going to call.
Harper at the line now for 2 free throws, and front rim gets lucky, and that goes in. Harper to take his second, and in and out, no good. Rabio with the rebound as Elicone goes the other way.
My 40-point benchmark isn't looking too good right now. I was hopeful that the Cougs would keep him underneath that, but Bridgewater already with 38, 7-10 to go in the fourth.
Clean three-pointer from Kevin from Riley Green, and your score now is 57-38 with 7 minutes left. And Riley Green, quick turnover, and gets blocked at the rim. Nice steal from Riley, but gets blocked at the rim on his way up.
You got too fancy there. You just want to see him powered up instead of playing with it like a lot of the younger kids doing nowadays. They have to go for that jelly, that fillet.
I think that's why Coach Grundy is a little frustrated with him. From out now, after the quick inbound, Green fakes a three. And oh!
Wow, that's really nice
Rajon Rondo. Isaac's looking up like Rajon Rondo.
Little fade to the corner, go up and take it yourself.
And good defense.
And the goes off of the Bridgewater player. That's a great block from Rabio.
Great sequence from the Cougars. A little bit of luck, a little bit of skill, and you get 2 easy points in the ball back.
Yeah, a little razzle-dazzle from Green, and then the big block by Raballo. And now you want to see the Cougars just really start to, take over, put some distance between themselves, get everybody in the game.
Left-hand take by Kevin Vermette leads to him going to the line for 2. Zach Letts, seeing his first action of the game, commits the foul on Vermette. And speaking of first action of the game, Andrew Davina will seek to check in for the Cougars. And Vermette takes his first and misses it. Oh, I'm sorry, he made it. Now I just can't see. Speaking of the fact I can't talk, now I just can't see. Green checks out for the Cougars as Davino makes his first appearance for the night. Vermette 2 for 2 at the free throw line.
And you already know Davino's going full court. He's getting right into his man, and he's gonna stay with him for the full end of the court.
Small kid, but he's speedy and tough. All you can ask for out of a guy like that. Oh, and unorthodox. I've never seen that before.
I've seen it. You see it in pickup more than an actual high school basketball game.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Maybe he's a pickup kid, but unorthodox for more. Tries to fool the ref, I think. And Raballo takes it up. Fake. Plays pass first forward, and a sequence that leads to a Bridgewater foul.
And you want to see Elko finish that there. I mean, tough spot. Definitely thought Raballo might have been going up for a shot there, but that's one you want to see Elko finish down there.
Maripodi to inbound now for the Cougars. Inbound to Raballo from fake 3, right hand, tough, and off high glass in. 63-38. Montgomery with 6 minutes left in the game.
And Vermette's so good at finishing at those odd angles. A lot of times he might throw up an early runner that you don't think it's going to go in, and then all of a sudden it's off the glass, looking like it's had no business but going in. So you got to give Vermette a lot of credit for really getting used to finishing at those tough angles.
The Cougars couldn't capitalize on the Bridgewater turnover and turn over the ball themselves, as Bridgewater will now regain possession with Chang. Chang drives right.
You got Zach Letts in for the first time for Bridgewater as well. Number 3.
I think he was in before. He's the one that fouled. Yeah. Davino pulls from 3. First shot of the game. In and out and back in. Andrew Davino hits from 3.
Gotta love that from Davino.
A 26-point lead for the Montgomery Cougars with 5:15 left in the quarter.
Yeah, he pulled up real confident, didn't hesitate. Little in and out, but it was back in, as it should.
Horvath inside, easy 2, and I think
we haven't said Horvath's name much since that first quarter.
Grundy will look to go deeper in his bench now with Bellavia about to check into the game. Davino to Vermette, to Elicone. Trying to find Chris Raballo, but can't. Maripodi back out to Davino. Davino kicks out to Vermette. Vermette from 3. And back iron. Tough rebound from Maripodi. And
smallest guy on the court. Not to sound too cliche, but he's definitely got a big heart. I mean, you're talking about a kid who, a little backstory. You're talking about a kid who, a few years ago, you might not have expected him to even make the team. And now you're looking at, Will Maripodi as one of the definite, just vocal leaders, senior leaders on this basketball team.
Bellavia checks in for Elicone. Huback also checks into the game for Vermette. All 5 guys now on the court for the Cougars are bench players. And the same thing for Bridgewater, as both teams just look to see out the rest of this game.
And the main thing you want to see from these guys is just keeping up that intensity on the defensive end. They might not have that ability to just everyone score at will, but you don't want to see a let up. Coach Grundy's always been big on, when guys come into the game, no let up, and you don't want to see any kind of a let up here up by 24 points in the fourth quarter.
Huback drives and floater's no good, but a foul will be called on Huback himself. Think we'll see Ryan Curry?
I hope you see Ryan Curry. I love when he comes in. I think he has
that swagger.
Super talented, a lot of swagger, a lot of just looseness and flow to his game. He doesn't come in and he looks nervous. He looks like he's ready to play. Obviously Coach Grundy's been working him in slowly, but I'd love to see some Ryan Curry here at the end of the game.
Rubio off the turnover, almost walks. Can't get the right hand finish. Bellavia kicks out to Maripoti. Maripoti right hand and underside of the basket, but is fouled.
And again, talking about the smallest guy on the court, I mean, you wouldn't think it just with the way he plays. He went up strong and fearless right there.
Mickey Wasco with the Bridgewater foul, and Maripoti misses his first off the front iron. And he'll get a second one. That's so good as Jalen Rogers pulls out the rebound. 66-42 with 3:41 left in the matchup.
Oh, here he is. Ryan Curry looks ready to check in right now.
I wasn't even paying attention to that. One moment I look away, he's ready to check in. Curry will check in. Let's see who he checks in for. I'm assuming it'll be Ben Huback. As Harper takes his first free throw and makes it. Curry checks in for Maripoti. What do you like about Curry? Because I've played with him before, like personally. What do you like about him?
I love his handle. I like his, he's real fearless. He doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who's guarding him. He's gonna attack you. And just like I said, I said it before, but the confidence, he just exudes it. As soon as he steps on the court, he's a freshman. You wouldn't tell it by looking and by the way he plays, but he has a swagger about him, like you said before, and he's also just a real likable kid. People like to play with him. People like to play for him. I think he's got a real bright future ahead of him with the Cougars. I'm calling it now. Mark my words, calling it now. Ryan Curry will be a 1,000-point scorer for the Montgomery Cougars.
1,000?
I think he's got 1,000 in him.
Woo. Darren Wallace, that's a big statement. I'm sure anyone who knows Ryan Curry is going to tell him that you said that.
I mean, you got to look at it this way. Justin Kovacevic was the most recent boys basketball 1,000-point scorer, and he only scored 12 points, I believe, in his freshman season. I think Ryan Curry, through 4 games, has already got, I want to say 6. So you're talking about 4 games, already halfway to the last 1,000-point scorer's
that's a double
full season mark.
I almost, the fan came out of me for a second, and I was a little angry there at the refs because they missed a double dribble, but that's never happened to me before. The fan came out of me. I apologize to our viewers for that. Rishi Wuduluru at the line now. After the foul was called on Chris Rubio. As Tommy Lafredo and Sean Kim will check into the game now for the Cougars for Davino and Huback.
Tommy Lafredo with a smooth 3-pointer last game. I absolutely love that out of him.
I saw that. That was nice. I feel like Tommy just has no expression on his face. Like
he's stone cold all the time. He's just straight face. Never know if he's happy. Never know if he's angry. But he plays hard. I love Tommy.
This is the first time in a while that we've had a senior class this big for the Cougars.
Yeah, I believe they get 11 seniors.
Yeah. What's your opinion on that? And because last year was 3, 4.
I think it's just impressive by them. There's not a lot of big senior classes. It's tough for 11 guys to put up a Grundy for 4 whole years. You're talking no winter vacation, no senior trip, barely any time for summer vacation, and it's just such a year-long grinding commitment. And for 11 guys to stick through that, for 11 years, stick it out, and know that you're not going to go on your senior trip with all your friends. You're not going to go on winter vacation like a lot of other people that are your age. And to put up with that for 4 years, 11 guys, says a lot about them and their commitment, and a lot about Coach Grundy and how he gets guys to buy in and just really commit to the program for 4 years.
And I think the cool thing is too is that most of these guys are dual athletes too.
Yeah, because a lot of people think that Coach Grundy is a guy who's big on if you play basketball, you only play basketball. That couldn't be any further from the truth. I myself, I played football. I played baseball my freshman year. But Coach Grundy's never been someone to say that if you're playing basketball for me, you're only playing basketball. He encourages guys to play other sports as well.
Keeps you active, keeps you that competitive mindset going. Cougars they've been moving the ball well since the young guys have come in. Curry will pull from 3, and that's an air ball. And still stone cold. Chris Rabio.
Send Tommy the Freight of the line.
(68-48) on the free throw. Let's defended by Curry. Curry. How hard is it as a young guy to get used to this matchup zone? That's a good play by Prescott to save the ball.
Speaking from experience, I think, you know, the concept of matchup zone, it seems a lot more daunting than it really is. You know, realistically, it's one guy on the ball and literally everybody else just in the paint. You know, you think that it's a lot harder than it is, but the more and more you get used to it, you know, I didn't even really get it until, you know, really in the middle of my junior year where I realized that, you know, if I'm not guarding the guy with the ball, I can just be sitting and help, you know, and just following the cutters, you know, understanding that if they're going strong side, stay with them, they go away from the ball, still camp and help. So, you know, the more and more, you know, you play in it, you realize that it's a lot more simple than Coach Grundy might present it to you. And it definitely gives a lot of teams fits. It gives them a lot of trouble. You know, they see, you know, all those green or white jerseys in the paint. You look like you can't even drive by. So it's a tough defense to go against, and it's definitely tough to pick up. But, you know, the more you play in it, you know, the more accustomed you get to just being in help if you're not on the ball and just being in real good, you know, defensive position on the ball when you do have, you know, to guard the guy with the ball.
Curry drives baseline. Curry back out to Prescott. Prescott for 3, and front iron, no good. But Strong came with the rebound and gets stuffed at the rim. Crazy way to
I like the attempt from Prescott. Fearless, you know, rising fire, as Coach Grundy would say.
Kim defending baseline now with left with the ball, and that's a tough foul.
I don't know about that one, especially end of the game, 20-point game. Interesting call from the ref.
That's a tough one. 68-48 with 17.2 left. And let's just take one for one and 1-1, and Bell misses, so Bellavita corrals the rebound. And within the last 10 seconds, Terry's just
Ryan will just dribble it out. Yeah, you gotta show off a little bit of what you got when you get limited minutes.
And that wraps it up here at Bridgewater High School, 68-48. Your Cougars grab the win. Darren, we'll be back here Saturday. You gonna be here Saturday, Darren?
Yes, sir, I will.
Word. We'll be back. Hopefully we actually get a pregame this time and get our camera set up correctly. So that's good. Any last comments, Darren?
You know, this is a good win just in terms of, you know, coming off the break. You know, Coach Grundy's always been emphasizing, you know, how are you going to come out after the, you know, winter break and the holiday break and whatnot. So you got 3 days off. And they started off kind of slow like I expected. But as the game wore down, you know, the pressure was just too much for Bridgewater. They couldn't keep up with them on the offensive end with all the scoring that the Cougars have. So it's what you expect, you know, a little bit of a slow start, but it's really putting it on them, you know, as the game wore down. And then, you know, it's always nice to get a 20-point victory under your belt, especially coming off of 3 days off.
This is really weird to read now. Oh, my God. This proceeding has been a production of the Maya and is the sole property of the Montgomery Internet Radio Experience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or account of this game without. We'll see you guys Saturday.